Welcome back to the 9-hole battles. Today we are at Hickory Hills Park, and on hole 1 we have a 275-foot left to right shot. We have a slight tunnel, but it's still favorable if you go off to the left. You do not want to be early. This hole you can either throw a right-hand backhand turnover or a right-hand forehand, which both Michael and I will be throwing. Michael throwing his Thunderbird. Just sawed it off a little bit. You'll be able to see once you get closer. And I'm throwing my Firebird. I throw it a little bit farther out.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a putt. And first part of the day, I just throw it straight into the ground. Michael throws his putt the opposite and just absolutely lofts it over. And for his comebacker, ooh, that's a tough start for Michael. Starts with a +1. And I'm starting with a par. Hole 2, 334-foot, nice, just long tunnel shot through the woods. The woods aren't too punishing here, but you'd rather be in the fairway for a nice easy shot, obviously. So I'm throwing my destroyer. I throw it way right, but I get a favorable kick to the left. And then Michael's throwing his beast and just throws it straight to the right side or left side, and it goes directly left. Tries pitching out, but just lofts it and goes all the way to the other side. Throws his pig for a beautiful upshot.
Yeah.
I'm throwing my P2 here, and I don't even know what I did there. That was awful. And then for my par save, just missed. Michael for his bogey save, and just spits out. And then Michael throws a double bogey, and I get a bogey. Hole 3, 121-foot downhill shot.
This whole hole is just going to be
This hole, if you go off to the right at all, you're pretty locked. Left, you're probably all right. And there is a creek behind.
Pig made it out.
I will be throwing my Stingray. And I just throw it straight into the ground. But I get a favorable roll out of the woods. Michael throwing his Aviar, just turns it over way into the woods.
Yep.
Trying to forehand his Aviar out of the woods.
The forehand Aviar?
And he finds a gap. And he's close enough for the putt. I'm going for my birdie. Oh, hit the top and the bottom. Made a little weird face. But we'll move on to the next one. Goody saves his par. And I tap in my par. Hole 4, you have a 362-foot par 3 with a nice little island around the basket. You do not have to land on the island. It's just easier to putt there, and it just makes the hole look even better. There are trees to the right and then long grass all around. There are a few trails, as the one I'm walking on, that you can land on if you're lucky. It is slightly uphill as well, but not anything that should factor the shot.
Yeah.
I am throwing my destroyer. I just turned mine over too much, but land before the trees, so we're all good. Michael throwing his beast and just does the opposite. Doesn't give anything to it, and then lands in the tall grass.
You'll be fine.
As you can see, he had to mess around with the tall grass a little bit, and it's harder for him to see the basket. But it is no issue. He puts it right next to it.
You parked it. Good.
I land on one of the trails, so I have a nice little easy upshot with my P2.
And it's over water. Yeah.
Michael taps in his par. And I'm tapping in my par.
Be a really bad last four.
Hole 4. It said it was 196, but I think it was a little bit longer than that. You have water to your right, and you have just a ton of tall grass. A little, I don't know if it's always there. Might have just been that day because we had some rain. But there is a little bit of water on the left, but it's really not a factor because it's so small. And then it also has trees behind it, and then again, a nice little landing zone for your disc. I'm throwing my Firebird. Just put a little too much hyzer on it. And then Michael's throwing his Rock X3. Does the same thing, but his dumped a lot harder than mine. I have a putt. And just loft it.
You idiot.
And Michael... easy money with the birdie. And I'm tapping in my par. Hole 5 is a 356-foot tunnel shot, way uphill, and extremely right to left. This is a par 4, just because of how impossible it is to get there in one shot, with how big of a turn it is and uphill. Michael throwing his Thunderbird and just throws it straight into the trees. And I'm throwing my Firebird. I correct myself, hit the tunnel nicely. Michael throws, or I missed his second shot, and his third shot goes in the woods. My second shot just goes into the other side of the woods. For his fourth shot, he goes into the woods again. His fifth shot misses. I miss a stupid putt. I miss a stupid putt. This is just not a good hole for us. I tap in my bogey. He taps in his double bogey. So he's +4, I'm +2. Going into hole 7, a 205-foot, just nice little shot. Not a tunnel shot this time. There is a little bit of a hill that if you forehand right around it, you should be parked. Yeah. And then the basket's just nicely tucked into the woods. I throw mine a little high, but it turned it over just enough to be pretty close to the basket. And then Michael takes that right around the hillside, like I said, and he'll be right next to the basket as well. He taps in his birdie. Yep. I tap in my birdie. Nice little star frame from us. Hole 8, a 307-foot downhill. It starts open. You have to hit the gap that we were going through. And then once you get out of the gap, you want to carry decently far to this nice open. And then you should have something if you make the gap.
It was blue, so.
I'm throwing my Teebird. I turn it over nicely.
Good.
Just not enough. I'll have something, but not a putt yet. And then Michael throws his Thunderbird and just turns it over. Nice little pig approach shot. Puts it right next to the basket. I have a jump putt, and I just missed it. For his par, and oh my gosh, just gets punished by the basket again. I tap in my par. He taps in his bogey to end up +4. Hole 9, 231-foot tunnel shot. Downhill, left to right. I've been really liking the lines on this course. The tunnels make you hit the lines that the course wants you to hit. Really, the only issue with this course is the no tee pads, but besides that, it's a great course. I'm throwing my Stingray here, and I just turn it over. Michael throws his Rock X3, hits the gap beautifully, and he'll have a putt once he gets down there. I'm trying to correct my errors, and I end up just going into the opposite side. Trying to get it close. I get it close. Michael for his birdie. We missed that shot on accident. And he taps in his par. I tap in my bogey. I am +2. He ends +4. And the tie streak is over, and I get the win. The series is now at 2-1-4. See you next time, guys.